Where do you get your RPG reviews? Well, the quick answer, in case you just want to turn this off, is I get them wherever I can find them. I look at Google and do a search, or any search engine for that matter. Could be Bing, although I don't know if I'll ever be able to say I binged it, but that's another story completely. And I just find them where they are. I also belong to, the RPG Brigade, which gives me access to a lot of YouTubers. I belong to other social media groups around blogging and whatnot, and that gives me access to that. So I see a lot of posts on social media that say, "Oh, here's my review of blah blah blah." Probably my favorite reviewer has recently put his blog on permanent hiatus, and that's I don't know if it's permanent or not, but I don't know if anything's ever permanent. Tommy Brownell's blog, the most unread blog on the internet ever, is he writes a really in-depth review so that you get a really good feel about what the mechanics are. And he breaks it down in ways that I like. What I like, what I didn't like, and who this game is for, or who this RPG product is for. So, if you didn't know about Tommy's reviews, I'm sorry, but he has stopped writing them, though the blog is still up there. I used to get reviews at RPG.net, but the volume of RPG reviews coming through has gone way down. If you go to the One Bookshelf sites, DriveThruRPG, RPG Now, there are often reviews there. Many of those link to blogs. That's another way I find them. But what do I use reviews for? The obvious answer might be to read people's opinions about the games. But that's not what I read reviews for. I'm looking for information about what the game is from a setting and mechanics standpoint, and I then contextualize what I've read into what my actual interests are. So I analyze them rather than just saying, well, Bob Smith says this is a bad game, so it's a bad game, I'm not going to buy it. I'm not a person that skips to the summary, although I think the summary is super useful. So I want to talk a little bit about what I look for in a review and why I value them the way I do. So first of all, what I look for is a description of the basic mechanics. I look for a description of the setting. I'd like to find out what's in it for the game master. And what I mean by that is, does it have good game mastering advice? Does it talk about, what are you actually supposed to be doing with this game? I think the most common issue I've always had with RPGs is you get to the end and then you have no idea what the heck you're going to do with it. You're like, enjoy it all the way through, but there's no good guidance as to what the heck you're supposed to do with it. I don't know if you've had issues with that, but I'd love to hear it if you have. My wife will make fun of me. She'll talk about how I'm like, oh man, this is great. This mechanic is cool here, or this setting idea is great. Blah blah blah. And I get toward the end of the book, and she goes, "We're gonna play it," and I'm like, "No, we're not gonna play it because I have no idea what I would do with it." And part of that is, I think, the philosophy of the game designer. It used to be that you just put a setting out there and the game master decided what to do with it. And I get that. But for me, I like a little bit of guidance, and I like to see what the intent is. So anyway, I look for that type of information. I also love the, who is this good for, who is this not good for? That's a thing I'm a fan of. I try to do that when I write reviews. So my philosophy about reviews. I personally don't write bad reviews. And it's not because I have a major philosophical issue with bad reviews. It's because, frankly, if I don't like a game, I'm not going to finish reading it, for one. I'm certainly not going to play test it. And at that point, I don't have enough information to write a review that I would want to read. So that's one thing. Another thing is, I've got a lot of friends that design games, and I know how much love and dedication needs to go into these games. It's, to me, not cool trampling people's dreams. Shane Hensley says that if you were doing this, you can't be in the RPG business for the money. You can make more money digging ditches than you can making RPGs. And as a freelancer, I have found this is true. I haven't dug ditches in a very long time, but let's just say that the amount of money you can make, you get a sense of whether or not you can make a living at it. So everybody does this for love. This is a hobby, and this is an industry based around the love of a hobby. So, and honestly, these games, somebody loved them. They're often play tested, and groups of people have all loved them, and hopefully the writer loves it. So it's just not cool to me to give a bad review. So that's my philosophy. Take it for what you will. Anyway, that's pretty much it for me. And I have to say, this video was a lot harder to do than I thought. This is actually, I think, my third, maybe fourth try. Most of my videos have been one and done. So this was a sneaky question. I thought this was going to be a no-brainer, but it really wasn't for me. Anyway, we will see tomorrow. And until then, do good, avoid evil, and play more games.